Troy Aikman in 1993, who knew this, walked out of the Pro Bowl game in the third quarter because he had a flight to catch. Like, I don't know what TWA airline he was on, but he couldn't wait until after the game. He said, nope, third quarter, I had to dip. He gets reprimanded, obviously. He has to go to the commissioner's office, Paul Tagliabue at the time. Mad as hell at Troy Aikman. What were you thinking? Why would you leave the Pro Bowl game? He's like I've told you guys before, no player wants to play in the Pro Bowl. No player signs up to play football more than they have to. And now, 30 years later, what he suggested to Tagliabue was a network of stars skills challenge is now come to fruition. So Troy Aikman is now proud of the moment he started 30 years ago. But when you hear all this story in totality, what's your reaction, John?
First of all, I do have to say that Troy Aikman, of all the former players who are in broadcasts, is my favorite voice to listen to. Tony Romo is definitely look at me. Chris Collinsworth has become a cliche machine. Troy Aikman just keeps it real. He's self-deprecating. He doesn't say, look at how smart I am when I'm calling this. He keeps it real, and he's amazing. There with that being said, Troy, yes, 30 years ago you said something that now is coming true, but there weren't any players who were happy with the Pro Bowl. Nobody was like, you know what? This was a really good idea. Everyone just kind of put a smile on their face. You're putting lipstick on a pig. Because the game always stunk, that fans didn't like it. You couldn't, it was a terrible idea from the get-go. You can't have a full contact game of football where people are kind of half-assing it. It's just no good. It doesn't make any sense. So Troy could take credit for a lot of things. I don't think he can take credit for this. With that being said, I love Troy Aikman.
Oh, you got to give him more credit than that. That didn't sound like the love that I know you have for him. That sounded like the love that was mixed in with a little bit of, calm down, Troy. You're making this about yourself. The same thing you don't like about Collinsworth and other ones out there. We talk about Romo. Here's what I love about it, because you've been in a circle before, right? And in any circle, they say if you want to move many, whisper to one. And all you have to do to start a movement is just someone has to get out of the chorus. We're all over here complaining, but when no one's done anything and no one's really said anything, who's going to be the one that actually not only whispers to one, but yells to one? And Troy Aikman yelled to the world, man, forget this damn Pro Bowl. I'm done with it, right? And once he did that, everyone else felt more comfortable expressing their issues with the Pro Bowl. Applause to Troy Aikman. I'm a former Pro Bowler, been in the game before, and when you talk about playing in that game, the first thing is no football player ever, outside of Dick Butkus and Ray Lewis probably, has unconditionally loved the game of football in its violent primal state. We don't. We know it hurts, and we are trying to inflict pain, but if you ask us, would we rather be poolside or on the 50-yard line, everybody's picking the diving board, right? So now we're out there. We're trying to figure out what is 50% to you, because my 50% looks different to me. I'm going against Chris Samuels. I'm going against Orlando Pace, whoever it may be. Hey, dog, 50%. And you're just trying to go through this negotiation of playing flag football without the flags. And it was just the worst experience. I'm glad the NFL finally caught notice and said, look, we can't have these guys going out there playing two-hand touch. It's really damaging our product because it's supposed to be football. So they moved on from it. But I don't think that they move on from it without the first domino falling. That first domino is your favorite broadcaster. It is Troy Aikman.
You think he was the first, though? I mean, like Sonny Jurgensen as an example. Sonny Jurgensen used to do color for the Redskins back in the day, and he would complain about the Pro Bowl all the time. He had the ear of the commissioner. He had the ear of of coaches. He was just like, he would openly say, this is really dumb, period. Okay. He was yelling it. He had the ear of everybody. But so listen, I don't think it's a point there's no point to the argument of Troy Aikman the first or not. He certainly was a voice that had a lot of impact. I just don't know if I can say he's the guy that caused this wave to happen.
Okay, I'm going to give it to you in example form. I can say, John, I didn't like what you just said right now. You know what? I could be Sonny Jurgensen in this moment. You know what, John? Everything you're saying is falling flat on my ears. Or I could do what Troy Aikman did. I ain't got nothing to say. Peace.
Where'd he go?
What up?
Whoa, wait. Go
What
up.
up? I am Troy Aikman, and I got a flight to catch. And guess what? This was fun, not getting touched in a fake-ass football game, but now I got to go home. Holla at that and see if that changes your ratings. Now, you do that, that's a whole different animal, right? And then everybody else sitting there like, the audacity of Troy Aikman is something I need to borrow. And that's
all right,
when
you want to know
start
what?
the snowball to start growing.
This is what I need to say. We need a scoreboard. Wiley 1, Brinkus 0. Like, geez. You proved your point.
Oh, man. I wish he would have did it when I was there, because I would have certainly jumped on that flight with I would have been his buddy pass. Not an issue at all.